Okay, we are learning Bava Metzia. We are up to the ninth mission in the fourth parak. If you want to take a look inside, page 117 on the handouts here on the Bima. Elu dvarim she'ein lehem onah. So we've been talking about things that the rule of onah, of defrauding somebody by charging them more than a sixth, more than the ideal price. Here are some things that it does not apply to. Havadim, vashtaros, varkarkos, vehekdeshos. So in regards to buying and selling of slaves, in regards to documents, in regards to karka, in regards to real property, to land, vehekdeshos, and also things that belong to hekdesh. These are all learned out from psukim, that all of these different types of things, that this rule of overcharging doesn't apply to them. Ein lehem tashlume kefel. Also, doesn't apply to them the payment of double. Meaning, normally if somebody steals something from somebody else and gets caught, he has to pay 2 times the price. You steal hekdesh, you steal something that belongs to the Beis HaMikdash, you do not have to. V'lo tashlume arba v'chamisha, nor the payment of 4 and 5. If you stole a sheep or an ox that belonged to the Beis HaMikdash, normally, if you steal a sheep or an ox from somebody and then you slaughter and you sell it and you get caught, you have to pay 4 for the ox and 5 for the sheep, the amount of the cost of the animal. But in the case of hekdesh, if it belongs to the Beis HaMikdash, you do not have to. Shomer chinam eino nishba. Somebody who is a free watcher, somebody who's watching something for free, he's not getting paid. So normally, if something disappears that he was watching, so the guy who gave it to him says, "Hey, what happened to my thing?" He says, "I don't know. It got lost. It got stolen, or whatever." He has to take an oath. He has to say, "Hey, I didn't. Wasn't my fault. I didn't take it." Basically, he's just take an oath that I didn't steal it. But in such a situation, you don't have to. In regards to hekdesh, those rules do not apply. Also, again, based on psukim, based on the verses in the Torah. V'nosei sachar eino mishalim. And also, somebody who's getting paid to watch, normally if something gets stolen or lost from him, so he has to pay for it. He's responsible. He was being paid. That was his job. He messed it up. In the case, if it's something that's hekdesh, if it belongs to the Beis HaMikdash, doesn't have to pay. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Kadashim shu chayav b'achriyusan yesh lehen onah. V'she'enu chayav b'achriyusan eino lehem onah. Depends. If the guy is responsible for them, meaning he has achrayus, he has a responsibility to pay back if they get lost, so then in such a case there is onah. What's the example here? Meaning, he says, Harei alai karban. I have to bring an offering. I have to bring a karban. And so he designates an animal afterwards and says, okay, here's the animal. And that animal gets, so it belongs to the hekdesh, whatever. So how could he sell it? Well, maybe it gets a it gets a blemish, so it can't be used in the Beis HaMikdash anymore. So now he wants to sell it, and he overcharges for that. So in such a situation, says Rabbi Shimon, then it would apply the overcharge. Because since he has a responsibility, because since he said, there's a karban on me, meaning I'm responsible to bring an offering, so if this one gets lost, and gets destroyed, he still has that responsibility because he said, I have to bring a karban. As opposed to if he says, She'enu chayav b'achriyus, he's not responsible for, if he says, this is a karban that I am going to bring from the beginning, so if that thing gets lost, he doesn't have another responsibility. He said, I'm making this thing a karban. So in such a case, onah doesn't apply if he doesn't have any responsibility. But in a case where he is responsible, he does have to pay, then there is this responsibility of onah, and if it's overcharged, it can come back. The halacha, however, does not follow Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Huda Omer, af hamocher sefer Torah behema umargalit ein lehem onah. Somebody who sells a sefer Torah, or an animal, or a pearl. In any of these situations, onah does not apply as well. Why not? Why shouldn't overcharging apply to them? Well, sefer Torah, because basically we sort of say, has no limit to its value. Sefer Torah, you can't really put a value on it. And so therefore, normally new Sefer Torah goes for $50,000, but he charges $80,000 or whatever. The person say, look, it's a beautiful Sefer Torah. People just, I can't put a real monetary value on it. I want this Sefer Torah. He's willing to pay more. Or in the case of an animal, it could be that he's got himself a beautiful animal, and he wants to hook another one up to it, that they should work in the fields. But he doesn't want one that's gonna not, he wants one that's exactly the same strength as that one, because if they're not on the same, if they're doing things on a different strength level, it's not gonna work well. It's not gonna go well in the fields. He wants it. So he has he wants this animal. He has a specific desire for, so it's like a guy who has a collection of something or whatever. Like, he's willing to pay more to fill the thing for his collection because it's like special to him. So in this case, we think the animal, he's going to hook up this animal with his other animal. He's willing to pay more than he would normally, and therefore there's, we don't say overcharging. The same with the pearl. Essentially, we assume like it's sort of like he's got one pearl for an earring, and he wants another one, but it's got to be the exact same size and exact shape and color and whatever. He wants it to look exactly the same. He's willing to pay more. That's the approach of Rabbi Yehuda. Amru lo, they said to him, lo amru ela aselu. The Chum said back to him, just the things we mentioned at the beginning of the Mishnah, no other examples. We don't, we disagree with you, Rabbi Yehuda. It's only the things, the slaves and the property and the documents and the things that belong to Hektish, those are the ones that are accepted from Onah, and everything else it still applies to.